My name is Bob Gorgone. I'm Director of Energy and Sustainability at the Philadelphia Industrial Development Corporation at the Navy Yard in Philadelphia. We are a private, unregulated grid at the Navy Yard. We have 100 miles of underground cables at the Navy Yard. We have, right now, almost 100 customers that we deal with, but a very diverse group of customers. A lot of outsiders see us as a campus, and they try to relate us almost as if we were a college campus, which we're not. A college campus, you have a single owner that controls all of the buildings and all of the energy needs there. Here we have right now over 120 companies down there that are very diverse group of energy users. The Navy being the largest from an aggregation perspective, followed by a shipbuilder who is the next largest single user of energy. As a matter of fact, 8 companies down at the Navy Yard, and this includes the Navy, represents 80% of our loads. In 2010, the world kind of changed for us because of deregulation. We lost some of our competitive advantage and the discounts that we were receiving from the utility, and knew that we had to do something different in order to be able to continue to purchase energy on a less expensive fashion and still be able to be competitive with our customers at the Navy Yard. So what we did was we're a public agency or quasi-public agency, so we had a public RFP process, proposal process, and we chose EnerNOC to help us with our energy procurement needs. That was the start of it. One of the things that we were able to do with EnerNOC was understand the different procurement methods that we could enter into and different types of contract arrangements. And they helped us to write an RFP yet again in order to go out into the open market to procure energy. And we were very successful and really got what I thought to be an excellent rate. In fact, I compared it with some of the other large users in the region, and we did quite well with EnerNOC, and we've continued that relationship. We have seen a reduction in our cost of energy as a result of participating in demand response, as well as the financial return from participating in the program. Our energy department within our organization and our customer base consisted basically of me. So we really didn't have the resources, and to tell you the truth, really didn't have the experience and the knowledge on how to even go about this. Nor did we have the resources to be able to manage any kind of a contract that we might have had. I mean, the contract itself is one thing, but the energy component of it, we really needed to have some experts and some outside resources to help us. And that's where EnerNOC came in, because they were really good at educating us at the different ways of procuring energy. And they were very tolerant of us asking questions. And even when we went out with our RFP for energy, we asked for 3 different types of bids from all those that were participating so that we could see what the value was and what the difference was on taking either a low-risk approach or even adding risk to what it was that we were going to procure. And then in the evaluation process, they helped us even further to analyze what it was that we were looking at and to help us to make a decision. That actually continued later because we continue to have the relationship with EnerNOC, and they continue to provide us information and input into what's happening in the energy market. And 2 years ago when we started this process compared to today, there have been some dramatic changes. And as a matter of fact, we just extended our contract for our energy procurement based on advice that we received from EnerNOC. And it didn't stop with just the procurement, because we've also entered into a demand response program with EnerNOC that's been quite interesting and successful, I think, given where we are in that particular game. The way EnerNOC helped us to position ourselves in demand response was really from discussions with EnerNOC and learning more about what demand response was. I kind of knew what it was. Had some of my own ideas on how to approach it at the Navy Yard, but it's again, we're not a campus like a college campus, so I can't just flip a switch for demand response for the whole yard, because we have businesses to contend with. And what EnerNOC was able to offer us was the ability to go to our customers to try to encourage them and incentivize them to participate, which is a real challenge, because it's a change for people. It's something that's different. And to be honest with you, neither of us were very successful in getting individual tenants to participate in the program. So what we decided to do was see if we could do it on a grid-wise basis rather than on an individual basis. And with EnerGOC and through their advice and through some of the data that they were able to provide us, they ended up nominating us for a certain amount of demand, and last year was the first time that we participated in demand response. And even internally within my own organization, there were some challenges in trying to get some acceptance on what is the right way even to go about this particular process. We were able to participate by using our relationships with some of the larger customers at the Navy Yard and ask them to do certain things, such as increase their temperature by a couple of degrees with air conditioning, shut off non-essential loads. In one instance, and this was with the shipbuilder, one of the demand response days was on a Friday, and it was so hot, and that's a tough environment to work in anyway, they let the workforce go at noontime that day, and that contributed significantly to the success of the program last year. We did quite well, I thought.